Can you talk about how pleased you were with this day?
Yeah, it's a big day. A lot new out here today. You know, new team, obviously a lot of new staff members, new field, new conference. Other than that, it was all the same. So, yeah, fun to get to this day for a lot of reasons. You know, guys were really excited. Guys really flew around. Was really impressed. You know, just even without seeing the film, you could tell defensively there was already a different comfort level than certainly when we opened, or even maybe when we closed spring and we challenged our defensive players. That we didn't want to just pick up where we left off. We wanted to accelerate so that when we got here to even this first day, it looked even better than it did in the spring at any point. And that was a big point for us throughout the off season of preparing ourselves to come in here and don't just be satisfied with picking up where we left off. And thought that we did that. So yeah, guys flew around. You know, you have some limitations on what you can do when you're non-padded, but I thought we handled the day well. A lot of great energy and juice, and excited to get back in there and watch the film.
Isn't it always the case the defense is always going to be ahead of the offense this early in camp?
That's fair. I mean, it's typically that. I think we're, like, for us right now, it's not so much offense versus defense. It's a little bit more of just evaluating, you know, first, you know, each individual player, and then each unit, and then each side of the ball of, are we executing and doing the things we need to do, and then what are the gaps that we got to close. There's always certainly competition. You obviously pay attention to that, and that's a hallmark of this program, has been for a long time. But you got to have some perspective on what you're building. Like, we're not building a defense to only beat USC's offense. You know, we're not building an offense to only beat USC's defense. There's a much bigger picture, and we've got to all balance that.
Coach, at Big Ten Media Day, you emphasized patience and wanting to wait to, you know, be firing on all cylinders because you're still working towards that. In your eyes, when is that going to be for you? When will this program be firing on all cylinders, and what does that process look like to get there?
Well, there's no patience. It's just a understanding of it is what it is. I mean, that's, you know, our patience is, you know, we want it to happen yesterday, and that's been our mentality from the day we walked in here. I mean, despite all the things we knew how to build, I mean, you guys, probably most of you were there the, you know, day I got hired. I stood up there and said championships are going to be the deal from the beginning, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy, and nobody thought it was possible, and we put ourselves right there. So, yeah, no limitations on what we can do. There's definitely no patience. There's an incredible sense of urgency, but we also you also understand that the key is everybody involved. We can't ever get down when one thing doesn't go perfect, because the path, it's not going to be perfect. And I think it's more just an understanding of that, is that it's going to continually build, it's going to continually grow. We're going to build on and celebrate the successes and try to replicate and get as many of those as we can. And then when we have something that doesn't go our way, we're going to use it as a chance to learn. It's going to motivate us more, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to get better. And I mean, one of those two things are going to happen, and that's how we're going to respond no matter what. And when you know, our history as a staff tells us and confirms when you continually do that, you build, and that's what we're doing.
Any notable games or stats from the off-season strength program? And games
yeah, I mean, I think, you know, probably the biggest one for us, I mean, as a team, you know, a 1,400-pound gain as a team from the start of the off-season to now. That was the team, not the staff, thank God. We didn't do the staff before and afters. You've seen we haven't released those yet. But yeah, and so obviously that was a big point of emphasis. You know, really a phenomenal, I would not even say job, I would say transformation by our strength staff, our nutrition staff, medical. I mean, everybody that was involved in the off season, because this was a major, you know, shift, philosophy change, you know, especially defensively, and to get these bodies equipped to come do it was a big step. And so, yeah, you know, we're obviously a lot bigger football team, and now you got to go translate that. You know, that's just part of it. It's a key step in the process, but there's obviously a lot more to go.
That's from January?
What's that? That's from January. Yes.
Also, going with that increased size, there's a certain amount of intimidation that comes with that, isn't there?
That's the plan. You know, we want more guys that are the first off the bus kind of guys, and yeah, I mean, it is. There's certainly a psychological piece to it. There's a mentality piece to it. There is a physical benefit to getting it done. And one of the things we really emphasized was we've got to put this weight on, but these guys have got to be in shape. They still got to be able to move. They still got to be able, to play explosive. Like, it's not just throw as much as you can on, and that's a tough balance for both players, staff, all of that. And, looks like, our guys are in shape right now. We flew around, we handled this practice with ease, which is what you want to see.
Lincoln, I think it's fair to assume that Miller, you would characterize him as your QB1 heading into camp.
Well, he Miller had the best spring, like I told you guys at the end of the spring. There's no question if we were playing at that point that he would have been the starter. Now, in my history, man, a lot changes. You got some other guys in the room, Jaden and Jake, that got reps, that have gotten better fast. We're excited to see those guys, excited to see what Jaden can do after now having an off season where he understands the offense and can grow. So my expectation is he's going to be quite a bit better than what he was. And then certainly the expectation is that Miller and Jake and the guys that have been here are going to continue to grow too. So, it's not a decision that we had to make in the spring, so we didn't. I think I gave you guys a fair, honest update of where it was. But then at the same time, we're going to rep these guys. They're all going to rep. We're going to rep these guys here until we feel separation right now and not try to factor in too much of what happened before.
I know you talked about changing your offense year to year based on who the quarterback is. In terms of the change from Caleb to whether it's Miller, whether it's Jaden, whatever, how much different or how much change did you feel like this offseason was required out of you in terms of the offense?
Yeah, it's in our comfort zone, because we've done this thing with different cues, and it's not just the quarterbacks. They're certainly a big part of it, but it's your line, it's your skill guys, it's how's your tight end group, how deep is your running back group, how depth and skill sets at wide out. Like it's just this big puzzle that you try to put together every year, and it's just trying to find the very best. And I think not having a lot of preconceived notions of what it needs to look like. It's what are our skill sets, what are our advantages, and then putting these guys in the best position that we can. And that's a challenge that we enjoy. And I think we have a very good idea of what it's going to look like, but some of it's going to be these position battles on the field and how these guys separate and which of these position groups becomes the strongest. And that's our challenge as coaches each year is to, and even within the year, week to week, is to figure out, what gives us the best chance to move the football and help our team win.
Lincoln, you talked about it in Indy, but in her State of Troy address today, Jen Cohen said that House of Victory had doubled its revenue in 2023 and 24 compared to last year. Mm-hmm. Where do you see, the collective right now? Are you happy with USC's NIL situation? Are you happy with the level it's at right now in this present moment? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I'm not happy with it. I'm thrilled with it. I'm thrilled with it. The percentage gains and the momentum that it has created, the job that House of Victory has done, the job that our people that work there, the people here, the Trojan family that support it. It's incredible gains. It's honestly, you hope for it. Do you expect it? I don't ever want to, not expect big things here. This is USC, but we're talking substantial gains, momentum, and not just in the dollar figure, but how we operate, the confidence of our team and our program in it, of our recruits. Is just, it couldn't be higher. So they have just done a phenomenal job. It's gonna continue to get better, like we expect all parts of this, but I cannot say enough about the job that House of Victory and everybody that supported have done, and we need people to obviously continue to do it. It makes a difference. It matters.
Coach, you've been talking about the vision. You kind of talked about NIL right now. First time out here on the practice field with the team, new facilities are going in place. Can you talk about it compared to your first 2 years, what it's like practicing now with a bigger facility?
Yeah, it's cool. You kind of get out there in the moment and you're into practice, but when you take a step back, and I still kind of have that vision of, the first day I got hired and I got to come out here and watch the team practice and walking through those doors and kind of what this looked like, and then look at it now. It's just another obvious sign of just massive progress all the way around. And so it's meaningful, and I think it's even more meaningful here because, one, you all knew better than me before I got here. This has been needed for a long time. You want your facilities and where you house you want it to mirror the program and how important the program is to the school, to Los Angeles, to college football, the history, all the success it's had. You want that to be a reflection. And and hearing about, you know, a little over a year and a half, or a little under a year and a half, it's going to be. And then I think too, you're just reminded of the commitment. You know, it's not like we got a bunch of free land just lying around here. So I mean, there's a lot of places that's, oh well, we'll just go buy up this, you know, cornfield and we'll build this thing. And like here, as we all know, you know, our cornfields cost a little bit more. So like it's like the school's commitment to do it. They've been unwavering in their support from day one. I mean, this was a huge part of you know, me taking this job was just an overall commitment that I felt like their commitment was going to mirror what ours would be and what the Trojan fans, alumni, former players would want it to be like as well. And they, you know, Carol, the board, like everybody, you know, Jen, I give credit to Mike and everybody before. I mean, it's just been a lot of people like to get to this point where like you can see it now. Like the new field's awesome, but it's pretty cool to be able, and I would encourage you, if you have it, go stand on that field and look back at where that facility is going to be, and you start to get the scope of like what this is going to be like. And yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see all the updated renderings and videos and all that we have of it. It's incredible. I mean, I got chill bumps right now. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. And so it's a long ways from what, November 21, right?